This conference will now be recorded.
All right, here we go. Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to read through the notices, and we'll do the quick sort of agenda and attendance. So Stratford High Renovations Subcommittee, the Building Needs Committee of the Stratford Town Council is conducting a regularly scheduled meeting on Monday, December 7th, 2020 via GoToMeeting. This is Alan Llewellyn, chair of the subcommittee. Due to the coronavirus, we were virtually already covered that. All right, so this is the roll call for the committee members. I'm going to check myself in, then Bob Shalou.
Here.
Jack Delapiano.
Here.
Bob DiLorenzo. All right, I'll hold off on Bob. Rich Fredette.
There. By the way, Bob will not make it this evening. He is tending to his son at Bridgeport Hospital.
Okay, sorry to hear that, but appreciate the information, Rich. Susan
Everything
Lance.
is okay.
Here.
Excellent. Ken Poisson.
I am here, and Bob also mentioned that his son is doing well.
Okay, that's good to hear. Thanks for that update there, Ken. Janet Robinson.
Here.
Dan Semps.
Here.
See him in there now. I'm going to go through the town representatives and consultants. Mayor Hoydick.
Alan, you also have Len Petroselli as a member, and he's on.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Thank you, Aline. All right, John Casey.
Here.
Richard Girio. All right, Dan Weakling.
Here.
Already heard from Eileen. Mark was recording. Dawn. And she's on there. All right, George Perham.
Here.
Lisa Yates.
Here.
Paul Drummy.
Here.
Ron Denny.
Here.
Thanks, Ron. Tim.
Here.
All right, Tim, are there any other persons from Turner on with us?
Jen Lynn should be on.
Jen Lynn's here.
All right, excellent. Thanks, Jen. And then are there any kind of town representatives or consultants who I haven't called yet?
Hey, Alan, it's Caitlin Sheik.
Oh, all right. Even Caitlin. All right, Aileen, I think we got everybody. If not, we can do some kind of corrections post meeting. So again, just to quickly remind everyone of the rules, please kind of raise your hand, or if you're on camera, kind of wave. I'll acknowledge you. When you're acknowledged, state your name and affiliation as you speak each time. Again, please mute all your phones and computers unless you're the speaker and get acknowledged. And so now officially call us fully to order. We can get started at 5:35. Item 2 is the approval of the minutes. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the regular November 2nd, 2020 meeting.
I move to approve the minutes. Absolutely.
All right, is there a second?
Second, Janet.
All right, thank you. Any corrections or adjustments to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item 3 under the town council update. Anything to bring us up to speed on, Mr. Poisson?
At the last month's town council meeting, we just approved all 4 change orders that were in front of us.
All right, excellent. That'll keep us moving along here. Brings us to item 4, project financial update. I'm going to turn this over to to Paul Drummy, and he can walk us through the next couple of pages that are attached as part of the agenda. Go ahead, Paul.
All right. Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, everybody. So after last month's approvals, I did a couple things to the budget. The first being actually creating another line item underneath the general requirements portion of the budget. I brought up the construction electrical usage at the approved 154,510. I put up Antonazzi's amendments into their section, and I also brought down the remainder into owner's contingency. And we stand currently at 1.376 million in owner's contingency. Any questions?
All right, there are no questions for Paul. I'll keep us moving along here. And what was that? Is there a question for Paul? All right, bring us to item 5 under Turner change orders. Tim, I'll turn it over to you, and let's get through these.
Okay, the first change order that's listed here is COR 276. This is for the VRF programming, so I'll defer to Paul to see if there's been any update from the town attorney on this.
So thank you, Tim. Committee, so I have communicated with Bruce Jackson, who has been in contact with the town, and he should be returning an email to me so I can distribute it to the committee with his opinion on the matter. So we are moving forward. We are not quite ready for this yet anyway, so we're still moving forward and getting the system up and running to the point where we can start this programming. So I will let the committee know when I hear back from Attorney Jackson.
All right, that'll be excellent, Paul. Since it's something we've talked about repeatedly, there's no need to kind of wait until the meeting. So once things are squared away with the town attorney letter, be sure to get that out to the subcommittee, and then we can be as prepared as possible for our next meeting. All right, Tim, take us through
Mr.
COR
Chairman.
290. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Mr.
Mr.
Fredette.
Chairman, Rich Fredette. While we're on that, Paul, how is that system working presently with the weather getting kind of chilly today? Are the schoolrooms working right?
So this morning, the end users were in a cool environment, Mr. Fredette. The project team has been working hard to get the issue resolved by getting a particular component of the system in and installed so it can be running properly and get these rooms climate controlled appropriately.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to check in on that.
All right, excellent. Any other questions on the VRF? All right, Tim, bring us then to 293.
All right, COR number 293. This is a change order request to bring power and a quad outlet out to the turf field. This was requested, I believe, by the school to have power out there. Currently, we have conduit and a pole box out to the island with no wire in it. So this would be to pull wire, bring it further out into the field, and add a quad.
Mr. Chairman, wasn't this tabled? Point of order, Mr. Chairman, wasn't this tabled last month?
Yes.
I believe so. That's correct, Paul?
Yes, Chairman.
All right, so then we're probably not going to get this resolved until we have kind of the greater discussion concerning the athletic field. So I guess we'll just kind of keep this tabled for now, unless somebody has an objection, and then we'll move forward to 300.
Mr. Chairman, Len Petroselli, shouldn't we be
Yeah, go ahead,
tabling
Len.
the first change notice since it's on the agenda?
Yeah, we can. I mean, we haven't been off tabling pending CORs. as we've gone along. But if someone wants to make a motion and then we do a second, we can formally table this item.
I'll make a motion to table it.
Thank you, Mr. Petroselli. Is there a second?
Second by Mr. Fredette.
Thank you, Mr. Fredette. Any other questions, comments, discussion concerning item 293? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, chair votes aye. Motion to table carries unanimously. And that'll bring us to COR 300. Tim.
Okay, COR 300. This is in reference to RFI 576 for some bridging at the existing joists in Building C.
Excuse me, Tim. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Yep, go ahead.
Just another point of order. We just tabled something that we had already tabled last month. I think Len and Rich wanted to table the VRF.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, Mr. Chairman, Paul Drummy here.
Go ahead, Paul.
So I think committee, this might be an error on my part to even have this in our agenda. These were already both tabled and never came off the table. So this is really, again, an error on my part to even have these in here because I think it's adding confusion. So I will, moving forward, will not put these in until we are ready to address them. My apologies for the confusion.
So we're saying that first change notice was already on the table?
Yes.
All right, then I'll withdraw my motion to table.
And same with the second, Mr. Petroselli.
No, I'm not ready to withdraw. Yes, I'll withdraw it.
All right, so I guess moving forward, if there are pending items on here, we just kind of won't bring them up for discussion. We'll skip over them unless they're ready to be acted on. So I apologize for that. So all right, Tim, go to COR 300 then.
All right, COR 300, just quickly again, in relation to RFI 576 for the addition of some bridging at the existing joist in Building C, Phase 3A. It was identified that there are some existing joists that were down low over on the west side and also in the south side that had missing bridging between them. Structurally, that bridging should be there. The RFI was asked, it was answered. This is the cost to address that for $3,999.
All right, are there questions or discussion concerning this COR item? All right, is there a motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, Dan Sim.
All right, go ahead, Dan.
Bob Shalillo, second.
All right, any other questions concerning this item? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Thank you all. Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. 301.
All right, change order request number 301. This is to add some lockable covers in the main gym. So over at the gymnasium here, items such as lighting controls, T-stats, the controls for the basketball hoops. It was looked at that G should have some lockable covers to protect them. This cost of $5,314 is to add those lockable covers, but also to modify the wall pads around these covers.
All right. Tim, do you remember at whose request this item came to be?
On my end, the request came through Paul, so I would defer to Paul on who requested it.
Sure.
I could say that if I may jump in, Mr. Chairman, the request came from Anthony D'Angelo, our athletic director, and the phys ed teachers. Right now, there are cutouts in the wall pads left exposed, or the controls for all the lighting, the closed lockable wall, the basketball hoops, as well as the um, audio video system in there. So we thought it best for many reasons to have those in some way covered with something to prevent any possible accidental damage, or kids going up and connecting their phone to it and start playing music on their own. So there's a few reasons for it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that, Mr. Delapiano. Is any other questions concerning this item?
I don't think it's to approve yet.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a
now.
motion. I will make a motion to approve.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fredette. Second by, is that Susan?
Janet.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hold on. Any more discussion?
Yeah,
Ken?
now that we had a motion to approve, now we should have discussion.
There we go.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, Rich Fredette.
Just go ahead, Mr. Fredette.
Any particular reason why this was not included with the original installation of everything, and why we're getting hit again afterwards? I'm just waiting for
Paul,
the reason. It's already approved, so.
No, but again, it's a good question, Paul. Do you want to kind of, is this something that's typically done in the course of construction, or does it always come up kind of later on?
So I can see something like this, Chairman and committee, in a scope of work this grand on a project this big, that something like this could be overlooked.
I would also say, this is Lisa here, that we cover a lot of things in the gym usually. Not all of, I have not covered light switches before, for example. So it's a mix. Varies from school to school based on what's requested in the design period.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead.
Were the PE teachers and the athletic director asked?
Ken, if I may, I know that Tony brought it to my attention on behalf of the PE teachers and him, as well as coaches, to talk to see if there's something that could be done to protect and kind of seal these up.
No, I totally understand that. What I meant was I was following up Paul and Lisa's comments about the input and everything. Were they asked for their input in the design stage?
We can consult our notes from 5 years ago. I know Tony was not around yet at that time, but we did a programmatic review with the athletic department.
Okay. Are there other questions concerning this item? All right, motion.
Mr. Chairman? Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Dan.
Yes, go ahead, Danny. Go ahead.
Are there any other areas in the locker rooms or auxiliary? Are there any other areas that we need to be concerned about?
Paul or Lisa want to comment to that?
So,
go ahead, Paul.
So, we're in December, a few months occupying the space already, Mr. Senth, and this was one of the things that was brought up to where the kids were activating and switching the lights. It's being a little silly, I guess, and then some of them plugging their phones in and playing their own music over the audio system. So I don't see any other spaces in the school or received any other types of complaints other than this.
Just add to that, if I may. Sorry, Mr. Poisson. I think the thought process is to prevent that from happening, Paul. But I would ask a question to piggyback on that. Does the auxiliary gym have any similar controls that are built into the walls that would be in the open and or the fitness center?
Jack, I think we should review that together. You have lights. Let's start there. So You have light switches and you have thermostats. So
Okay.
I think it would make sense for us to go through them all together.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Poisson.
Yeah, I think Jack can maybe agree with me here that like a worst case scenario, Jack, would be it's the Benell Stratford basketball game and there's now 1,500 people in the gym instead of 500 in our beautiful new gym. And there's a minute left in the game and somebody just randomly turns the lights off.
Yeah, you can absolutely, or even just innocently leans against there and their elbow hits it. So whether it's intentional or unintentional, absolutely, those are situations we discussed.
Yeah, I just think, and I with what Rich said, that I can't see how this wasn't put in place prior.
All right. So last call for questions, comments, concerns on this one. All right. Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor of the approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. Tim 302.
Okay, RFI number 302. This is in reference to RFI 619 on the east face of the phase 3A, out here where the courtyard is, where the new playground has been installed. There's a brick veneer that goes on the existing building there. On the top of that, as part of the details, had a TPO covering on it. The revision was made to be able to have a metal coping to match the coping that's on the building with the blonde brick. So everything was uniform in that location in a much better look. If you looked at the RFI, there are photos in there showing what was done to be able to achieve this. And the total change order to perform this is $2,497.
Len Petroselli, I'll move it.
Thank you, Mr. Petroselli. Is there a set?
Susan Lance, I'll second.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Lance. Any questions, comments, discussion concerning this item? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And just for the record on the agenda, the value in the motion isn't the value of 302. So I want to make sure 2,497 is the value, please.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, and I'll move on to change order request number 303. Change order request number 303 is in reference to RFIs 612 and 628.
Tim?
This is for, yes, sir.
Pardon me. So on this next COR, it's actually a credit of 804. So my apologies on that as well.
How much was that for?
Next one is
$804. I would have gotten to
amount
that,
of
Paul. I would have
804.
let him know.
Motion to accept.
I'll second it. Len Petroselli.
Is that for those trees you're going to get rid of?
Is that a yes, Tim?
This is for the, this isn't related to those trees that we're going to get rid of, but yes, we will be getting rid of those trees. This is for updated plant material when they went out to the nursery, as well as some changes in type of tree. So again, ultimately, it's a net credit of $804, but this is for everything's planted to date. We will be going to moving those 3 trees that are next to the field.
All right, excellent. If we're all done with questions, comments, discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. And then Tim, let's go through the fire marshal requests.
All right, the last change order I have for tonight is change order request number 304. This is as a result of the fire marshal's review of the building. He's requested two things that are included in this change order. One being photoluminescent floor signs on the stage. They'd like arrows. If you went through the detail of the COR, you could see that the photoluminescent arrow that he'd like on the stage to direct those who are on the stage in the event of an emergency in the dark to an exit door. And then secondly, the doors that are on either side in the corridor of the auditorium. He'd like those doors to be on mag hold opens. That way, upon fire alarm activation, those doors do close. And then again, there's on the west side of the gymnasium, which is not included in this. We're looking at that at this point because he's also requested those doors to be on mag hold opens tied into the fire alarm to be able to separate the gymnasium from the main civic lobby. That is not included here because we're working through that, trying to determine exactly what would need to be done to make that happen. But for this change order, which again, the two doors in the corridor on either side of the auditorium, as well as the photoluminescent markings on the stage floor, is $4,090.
Len Petroselli, I'll move it.
Thank you, Mr. Petroselli. Is there a second?
Rich Fredette, I'll second it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fredette. Is there any questions, comments, discussion concerning this item? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any in opposition? Hearing none, chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. All right, staying with Tim. Let's go through the dashboard and the 6-week look ahead.
Okay, the monthly dashboard, monthly report that was issued on Friday. I'll just quickly hit a couple highlights here on the project accomplishments. The roof installation, the change order. The new roof is down substantially. We are watertight right now. Remaining work up there is some detail work as well as the final coping that's slated to be done here in December. We began installation of CMU and metal stud partitions. This shows about 60% complete at the end of November. We're much further along than that right now. The building is really coming together. You can see the space if you were to walk through now. Again, we're roughing in the interior walls. The overhead MEP is going in, and we began drywall, as you'll see down in the schedule section, slightly a few days before where our target date was to start the drywall. We did get drywall started. And then finally over on phase 2B, where the punch list is currently at 98.6% overall based on numbers. There are a few items that remain that are over in the critical activities, the aluminum rails being addressed, the spiral stair enclosure being completed. The majority of that work has been done, and some other miscellaneous things. But for the most part, we are almost 100% complete with punch list in phase 2B. Again, no safety incidents or anything to report this month. Financially, with the application, our November application is going to be delivered to John tomorrow, and we'll work on December here very shortly to get that in before the holiday. Financially, again, in a strong position for project-wide. The project itself, again, our contingency is sitting at the $750,000 approximately. That's the construction contingency right now. You can look at the photos of where the progress is. And then again, the project challenges that are listed down the bottom. Again, we're still very keen on and planning accordingly due to the COVID pandemic that we have here, looking at the density of the workforce out here, making sure that we are protecting each other and make sure we're protecting the school community. Other items on here, Mep Testing and Commissioning. We talked about the VRF system a little while ago. Again, today we did find that there is a mechanical issue associated with specifically the unit servicing the guidance area. That was cold this morning. Jack did contact me this morning about that, and we did get people out here right away. We're trying to figure out exactly mechanically what needs to be done, but it's an issue we didn't have last year or the year before. So we could see the heat pump on the roof is the problem. And the other challenge here is, again, that the schedule for phase 3A is aggressive, so we're working through it very quickly. We've been in every Saturday, and we'll continue to work overtime during the week and on Saturdays to be able to get that phase completed and turned over to the school in late February, mid to late February, as currently planned. And with that, I'll just open it up for any questions.
Mr. Chairman, Rich Fredette.
Go ahead, Mr. Fredette.
Tim, the trees that we mentioned about being removed, any idea on a timeline? And that is not going to be costing us any more money, is it?
No, the timeline of those trees right now, we did contact EDI. EDI right now has their entire workforce up at a project in Massachusetts. They don't expect them to be able to return to Connecticut for 2 weeks, is what we were told last Friday. So as soon as they get back, they'll send somebody out here to get those trees relocated.
Okay, and part B?
Part B, the cost associated, no, there will be no change order coming to the committee.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Any other questions for Tim before he quickly touches on the 6-week look ahead? All right, Tim, just
all right.
move
Quickly on the
forward.
6-week look. Yeah, quickly on the 6-week look ahead. There's a lot going to be going on the interior. So from MEP rough, both in wall overhead, as well as drywall taping. Painting will be started over the next 6 weeks. We have flooring installation will begin in certain areas. This phase is full of bathrooms. I believe there's 7 or 8. Lisa, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are a lot of bathrooms over here. So we have a lot of tile work will get started as well. Right now, carriers are going in plumbing. The shower mixing valves are all going in at this point. So all that will continue throughout the next 6 weeks. And again, get to the point that we're truly finishing the project. We have brought through the building department on several occasions. They've been working great with us. Again, happy to have them on the job at any time. They've really been, a great group to work with as we're trying to very aggressively complete this phase. So again, we thank the town for that. But outside of that, I mean, again, it's finished work on the inside, and then we wait till next spring to be able to get outside and finish the north parking lot, the rest of the hardscape and landscape on that side of the building.
All right, Tim. Thank you for your reporting. If there's no questions, comments on the look ahead, I'll push forward. That'll bring us to item 7. Paul, any kind of current events or anything going on with the photovoltaic?
Yes, Chairman. So after last month's meeting, I communicated with Mayor Hoydick and Chris Timniak and Alan Sabins from the town's photovoltaic consultant, CSW. They are in communication with the state about pulling another non-priority grant just for the solar for this project. I heard from Alan Sabins this morning, who has not heard back from them yet. But the goal is to have that project be its own entity and not a part of this project. So that's the latest. Are there any questions?
So, Paul, I have a question. If that were to come to fruition, we would then capture the money that we have allocated for photovoltaic, and that would get put back into the town's contingency, correct?
So it's entirely up to the committee, Chairman. We had spoken a little bit about this in prior month committee meetings to maybe trying to leave this budget line item alone, Chairman, and closing out the project with that line item remaining. And then when it comes time, how the town chooses to reallocate that money that was appropriated for this project would be their choice.
Okay, understood. Thank you. Thank you for that, Paul. All right, so so just keep us posted on what kind of the path is with that separate photovoltaic project looking to get a grant for the high school.
Certainly.
All right, that'll bring us to our next item on the agenda, which is 8. So our next regular meeting will be January 4th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. Again, just for everybody's information, if a special meeting is needed, that would be December 21st. 2020. Assuming everybody got the notification prior to this meeting that we're sort of going to skip over item 9 on the athletic field and hold that discussion a little later down the road.
Mr. Chair, make a motion to table it since it's on the agenda.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Petroselli. Is there a second to table?
Mr. Chairman, Paul
Yes.
Drummey from CREC. So the actual agenda item has 2 parts. The one was for the RFI discussions, which we are going to carry over and continue the RFI process. We received the answers from the project team, and now the committee has more questions to those answers. So we are going to continue that portion. We do have a subsection number 2 that I would like to discuss, and that has to do with the completed work in place for phase 3A. The decking change order, technically this project should have been complete, but since the change order for the decking came in and pushed us out to February, we have work in place that is sitting there, and quite frankly should be moved forward to the substantial completion process. While, and I say this in the narrative that was distributed, we are in the midst of sorting through some items on the engineered side of things, but after review, the field was built to spec. So there's nothing that Turner can tell their subs that there's reason for them not getting paid for the work they've done. So what this subsection 2 of agenda item number 9 is asking the committee, just for understanding that Turner can move forward with the substantial completion process, but at the same time understanding that we are not yet done vetting the engineered design of this field.
All right, so Paul, hold up for just a sec. So in
Sure.
terms of sub item 1 under item 9, a motion's been made by Mr. Petroselli to table that item. So let's get a second on that and vote on the RFI portion, and then we can continue with the part 2.
Janet, second.
Thank you. Thank you, Janet. Any questions, comments on tabling?
No
Hearing
discussion
none.
on this.
Sorry. All those in favor of tabling item 1 under item 9, signify by saying aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Hearing none, chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. All right, so Paul, now we're on sub item 2 under item 9. And so to your point, you're kind of saying in terms of 3A completion, what was put on the drawings has been done by Turner, and so to sort of move the substantial completion process along for the whole phase, you see we would be well within our rights to move forward.
So to move a portion of it forward. So phase 3A is not complete yet, Chairman. So, but originally the field and phase 3A were going to be completed together, but with the decking change order, as everybody knows, the building itself will not be completed till February. However, the field is complete to the contract documents. CREC was able to verify that, given the report that I sent to the committee earlier a few weeks back. And Tim, do you mind chiming in here and adding to what I've said already?
Yeah, no, the phase 3A consisted of the turf field, the athletic field, as well as work and hardscape along King Street, the milling and repaving of King Street, the sidewalks that run on the east side along Building C, and the landscaping that takes place there. All that work has been completed. What has not been completed based on the decking change order is the interior portion of phase 3A, the 20,000 square feet, as well as the final hardscape and landscape at the north lot. So the field itself, as well as the hardscape and the landscape there, in order to start the warranty period, the statutory 1-year warranty starts on substantial completion. But that field right now is substantially complete, as well as that other work. And for the purposes of the subcontractors, it is reasonable and fair to them to move that process forward, so that we can get that paperwork underway and get warranties in place and moving forward with that. Again, there'll be a follow-on for the interior portion in the north lot for phase 3A, similar to how we've done each phase. We have currently a substantial completion for phase 1A, 1B, 2B, and then again, there'll be this substantial completion and then a final one for the interior portion in the north lot.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Fredette.
I myself am not very comfortable at all the way Tim just explained everything. Sounds like a whole lot of stuff is jumbled up together so that they're obviously trying to get paid for certain things, which I agree should be paid for, but I am not comfortable at all in regards to anything getting paid for if that field is part of the proposal here. I brought this up over 3 months ago, that there was a crown in that field. I got fluffed off. Nobody paid attention to it. They came up with excuses after excuses. As it showed in our paperwork that was sent to us again by email last Friday, I feel that the only hammer we have right now is to not pay for anything right now. So I am not comfortable for voting for this whatsoever.
Can just to respond to that when it comes to payment, this isn't for payment. The completed field has been paid. So the only thing that this has is retainage. If we want to hold the retainage on the portion of the field, that again, to be fair and reasonable, the contract states that the owner can release retainage by phase. Again, we've done that by phase. If the decision of the committee is to hold the subcontractor's retainage for this concern, you have every right to do that. At this point, as far as I can see it, again, but as Paul has pointed out, and as we have looked at and provided all the documentation, the field has been installed and is built in line with the documents that have been provided to us. So for the subcontractor's point of view, they've done nothing in error and nothing negligent in any way.
I can appreciate that, Tim, and I'm usually a fair and reasonable person here, but I don't think we've been fairly treated along the way, and until somebody owns up to at least where that crown was and who's going to repair it, fix it. Again, I don't feel comfortable in voting to release any more money.
Mr. Chairman, Stan Senft, if I can just add to what Mr. Fredette just said, and if I could use a roofing analogy, if a roofing contractor installs a roof per the manufacturer's specifications, that roof leaks from the very start, would you pay that contractor? Or would you pay the contractor and then go after the manufacturer? No, you would hold back the money until it was resolved, until the problem was resolved. And I think this is the case. I feel bad for the contractor, because if he did do the work per the specifications, he did what he was supposed to do. But if there's a problem, and if it's an issue with either a manufacturing process, specification, you know, obviously, you know, we don't want to hold back the money on the contractor, but somebody has to be, has to accept that there's an issue here. And unfortunately, it's the contractor that is going to be kept out from getting his money at this particular point. I just think that's the right thing to do. And I think if we do pay the contractor, we're accepting the fact that there is nothing wrong with this field. So just my 2 cents.
Mr. Chairman, Rich Fredette again. From
Yes,
what
go
I
ahead, Mr.
understand,
Fredette.
from what I understand, it's like, as we're going with analogies here, I feel it's like a painting. And we started off with a very poor canvas to begin with, and we need that canvas fixed. Whoever laid the canvas out, whoever put the canvas there, or whoever put the field on, again, I don't want to beat this dead horse to real death, but you know, that's the bottom line, I think.
So, Chairman?
Yeah, Paul, one of the things I was going to say is go ahead. Go ahead, Paul.
Go ahead. So, just to touch base on the analogies that were just given, Mr. Sant, it's a little different. If a roof leaks, the roof is not acting as it should. It is the purpose of that envelope is to protect the inside of the building. This field is acting like it should, and was put down as designed. And I just want to let the committee know this is the town, the committee. There's still mechanisms in place to protect us, and we have not accepted the field to date, and we're not saying that we're accepting the field. We are going to continue the back and forth process to get all the information that we need to make the best decision for the town as a team. So it's a little different comparing this to a roof, because all the test reports that we've gotten back from the planarity and the GMAX test, all these tests have passed, all the tests that were in the specifications to make sure that this is a safe field for people to play on. So I just wanted to say that it's not a proper analogy when it comes to this case.
So Paul,
if I could just add to that. So I think some of us did some research in regards to this, and we did some research in regards to pitch on a artificial surface and what could happen with rain runoff and causing some of the rubber pieces basically run off and leave some areas exposed and causing some issues with the overall performance of the field itself. So I think we wanted to table this and get into further discussions, but I think at this particular point, until we clarify exactly what some of the issues could be, I think we need to table this. And my feelings are at this particular point, we hold back before we make any payments to anybody.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead, Ken Poisson.
I don't know if Tim can answer this, or Paul, or whoever. But if we do this, this starts the warranty, but then we're starting a warranty on a field that we haven't accepted yet and we're not using. So how would that work? Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
Tim or Paul want to answer that?
I understand what you're saying, Ken. And with all the information that we've just been over tonight, if it is just retainage that's being held, perhaps we wait until the January meeting to move forward with this item. I think the committee has brought forward great points and concerns to the project team to the point where we table item number 2 as well.
Okay,
Tim, can you just add in just your thoughts on the warranty and what I just said?
Sure. I mean, when, you know, again, without getting to the legalese of all of this, right, the contract, right, will require the subcontractor to perform their work in accordance with the documents. And once the field is completed for the documents, the design team reviews those documents and the design team produces a letter of substantial completion. That's what we've done in each one of the phases as we've gone forward. The Connecticut statute requires the subcontractor to produce a 1-year workmanship warranty for the project. Again, that 1-year warranty starts upon substantial completion per the contract agreements. Right now, the field has been completed for a month in accordance with the documents or longer, and has yet to have a issued letter of substantial completion allowing them to start their warranty period. It's been brought up several times in the conversation about payment and not paying them. Progress payments have been made on this field. You know, as the field is being completed, when they're 50% complete, they invoice for 50% of the field. When the field's 75% and 100%, it's the same thing. So right now, the subcontractor has been paid, as well as Field Turf has been paid for the field and the installation of the field. The piece that we're talking about that hasn't been released, that doesn't get released until later with a signed approval letter, is the 5% retainage on the value of the field. So if the field's worth $5 million, 5% of that's the retainage statutory that we're allowed to keep. And that's what the owner holds and puts that in escrow for the project and releases that money when the time comes, when closeout documents are done, when punch list has been completed, when those types of things are resolved. What's here in front of the committee now is that substantial completion. That acknowledgement that the subcontractor built per the plans and specifications. And again, the crown in the field, the elevations in the field, were not created in error by the subcontractor. That's what was designed and what was put in place.
Right. So Tim, you understand though that from our standpoint that could very well become kind of the piece of contention and why the town's reluctant to accept the field as it is that what was done was not what was anticipated, and that's why there's sort of a reluctance to move forward with this item. So am I hearing you correctly in that you said the only thing left to pay with regards to what's monies owed to Field Turf is the retainage?
But yes, I believe at this point in time, the application, they've been paid for the field based on the change order that was sent to them. Right? I mean, the field's installed 100%.
So the only thing that
all the subcontractors retainage, not just Field Turf. We're talking about all the subcontractors, right, Tim?
Right, for the whole
in the piece we're talking about right now, Ken, is really strictly K&W for the most part. There's and maybe EDI. They're the only ones that would be part of the athletic field or the hardscape and pavement. Right, is really K&W and EDI, the landscaper, would be the only two that are part of this portion of Phase 3A.
And H&I Stone is under K&W?
Yes.
So them also.
Yep. It'd be, again, yes, it'd be the paver, the pavement company, J&P. It'd be the H.I. Stone. It'd be Field Turf. You know, everybody who's under K&W.
All right, so Paul, would this be a point where you should entertain either a motion to table or a motion to move forward?
I think we're at that point, Chairman.
Okay, then I think I'd be in my right mind to entertain a motion to table sub-item 2 under item 9.
Mr. Chairman, Rich Fredette, motion to table.
Len Petroselli, second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. That brings us forward now to item 10 with some other new business items. Paul, I'll kind of turn it over to you to kind of go through these one by one.
Okay. Okay, committee. So this is for the move manager. We went through their scope of work on their credit or their change orders 1 through 3 and evaluated what was done and what was not done. And we came up with a $2,428.75 credit for services not rendered. So STB DPM change order number 4 is just for that, for the removal of the gym equipment and procurement and move management, which CREC took off and worked with administration to order this equipment and do it ourselves.
Mr. Chairman, Rich Fredette, motion to approve or accept.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Fredette. Is there a second?
Second, Len Petroselli.
Thank you, Mr. Petroselli. Any other questions, comments, discussion concerning this item? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Item 2 under new business.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. So item number 2 is amendment number 4 between CREC and the town of Stratford for the pass-through financial administration for STV to bill CREC, and CREC asked for reimbursement through the town. In the backup to this distributed last Friday, you can see all the change orders 1 through 3 and the associated meeting minutes to where the committee approved them. And I also, just to be proactive, is put in what was just approved, the $2,428 credit, which brings STV's base from 167,616 to 217,240.25. In the actual amendment for CREC, amendment number 4 is in the amount of $49,624.25.
Mr. Chairman, Rich Fredette.
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Fredette. Is there a second?
Susan Lance, second.
Who's got a dog?
Thank you, Mrs.
Me. But that's why I have my microphone off.
Excuse me, Alan?
Give the second to the dog. Yes?
I'm
Go ahead,
sorry,
Aileen.
this is Aileen Martin speaking. You just want to correctly say that you are moving that forward to the BNC with a favorable recommendation, correct?
Yes, I will forward that on to the Building Needs Committee.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Fredette. All right, any other questions, comments, discussion concerning this CREC amendment number 4? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. That'll bring us to item 3.
Okay, all right, Chairman. So item number 3 is the constant communication going back and forth with Sound Shore Holdings. So we had cut down the trees along his property line, and then we went in to do the turf curb work and the construction. In doing so, we exposed some of the stumps that were at one point underneath the ground, for the most part anyway. Just to try to satisfy this neighbor I brought in at risk Razor's Edge to grind these stumps below grade and to the value of $500.
Motion
Okay,
to
so
approve.
Stalemate. Mr.
All right, who made
Chairman,
that
Rich
motion?
Fredette. Did somebody want to make it, or I'll make it?
I made
Somebody
the
had
motion
made
to
it.
approve.
Who made it?
Me.
I'll second it.
All right, excellent. Any other questions, discussion concerning the stump grinding? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. And then, Paul, want to just kind of touch quickly on give an update on the commemorative plaque?
Sure. So a few months ago, I sent out a communication to the committee to give Alan and I some ideas of how the town wants this plaque to look and what names are going to be on it. So I have not received any responses. So I just wanted to remind the town and committee, if you could submit your ideas to Alan and I, it would be much appreciated. So I shouldn't say everybody didn't respond because Alan did have some ideas, and as well as Ken Poison. So there's been a few.
All right, so let's kind of Paul, give this a couple more 3 weeks through the holidays, and as we prepare for the January meeting, let's have you and I work together with George and Lisa over at Antonazi and possibly get some sort of an 11 by 17 sort of mock-up or at least draft put together for the January meeting.
Sounds good, Chairman.
All right, that having been said, under item 11 is motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously, and we are off the clock at 6:33.
If you're on building needs, please stick around. We're going to start right away.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good evening, everybody. I'm going to call the Building Needs Committee of December 7th, 2020 to order at 6:35 p.m. My name is Ken Poison. I'm 6th District Councilman and Chairman of the Building Needs Committee. Our second item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. I'll take a motion to approve the November minutes.
So moved, Ron Tiggy.
And I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item 3 is ongoing items. 3A is Board of Ed. A1 is Stratford High. We'll turn it over to Alan Llewellyn.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As always, Stratford High met prior to the building needs earlier this evening. The project's continuing to move forward with available work. The roof decking is continuing to go onward. I believe all the subcommittee all the building needs committee members should have also received or will receive the dashboard and the 6-week look ahead, so they'll see what our upcoming activities are going to be. And then, as we usually do, there was a series of change order items. So at this point, I'll start bringing us through those. First item that we looked at and put through was change order request number 300, which was related to RFI number 576. This was for some bridging at the existing joists at the section that's currently being renovated. I would move that we accept this cost in the amount of $3,999.
Is there a second?
Second, Ron Ticky.
Hey, any discussion? As usual, we are all on the previous call, so we heard all of the other prior discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Next.
Change order request number 301. This was at the request of the athletic directors and physical education staff to provide lockable covers to thermostats, lighting controls, as well as device connection points for the playing of music and whatnot. This will allow the staff to have control over what happens with the speakers, lights, and thermostats and whatnot. I would move that we accept this cost in the amount of $5,314.
Is there a second?
And
Second,
Sefton.
Petroselli.
Hey, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Next.
Next item was in response to RFI number 619. This was at the area of the new playground to change some TPO covering to metal coping to match the existing brick cap veneer at the adjacent constructed spaces. I would move that we accept this in the amount of $2,497.
Second, Len Petroselli.
Hey, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Next.
Next item was for some updated landscaping material. There was a change in plant material selected, and this actually resulted in a small credit. I would move that we accept this in the credit amount of $804.
Second, Ron Ticky.
Hey, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Next.
Okay, our last turn item for this evening is COR number 304. This is related to some fire marshal requests for photoluminescent floor signs on the stage, which is arrows leading people to doorways, and also putting the doors to the corridors on magnetic hold opens. I would move that we accept this in the amount of $4,090.
Second, Len Petroselli.
Okay, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much, Alan.
Ken, we have those three other amendment items, so let me get those taken care of quickly.
That's right. I'm sorry. Sorry, Alan.
So that's all right. No worries. Let me get through these. So the next item was scope reduction from the fixture, furniture, and equipment scope of work. This is another small credit amount. I would move that we accept this in the amount of $2,428.75.
Second, Len
Second,
Petroselli.
Ron Ticky.
Sorry, Ron.
Okay, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Next.
Next item was CREC Amendment number 4. This is for CREC to be doing the financial administration of part of the move management. I would move that we accept and send this to Town Council with favorable recommendation in the amount of $49,624.25.
Second, Dan Sefton.
Okay, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Next.
So last item, this was Razor's Edge invoice number 8973. This is for some stump grinding along the neighbor's property line that became needed when we started to do the curb work. This is at the 216 King Street side of the property. For stump grinding, I would move that we accept this in the amount of $500.
Second, Ron taking.
Hey, is there any discussion?
I almost beat you, Ron.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. And again, Alan, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate everybody's patience with me this evening. Unfortunately, my work duties had me going through 3 conference calls right up until 5:30 when I dialed in for the high school meeting. So, as always, I appreciate the patience of the subcommittee meetings, subcommittee members, and thank the Building Needs Committee members for getting on so they're aware of what's going on with the high school project. Thanks, everyone. If we don't talk again, everybody have a great Christmas. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, item A2 is open work orders, which, as always, were emailed out to head to all of us. Does anybody have any questions for Danny? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item 3B is general buildings. The town open work orders and building repairs were also emailed out ahead of time to all of us. Does anybody have any questions for Danny on the town side? Okay, hearing none. Item B2 is Booth Park. Dan, is there anything happening at Booth since last meeting?
The only thing that's happening, we have a PO out there for doing some work in the dance hall in the Coliseum building. In the back area where not in the kitchen itself, but in where the cabinets are and everything, we're going to redo a lot of that. We're going to take a lot of the old cabinetry out and put stainless steel shelves, new stainless steel sinks, and paint the dance hall, new LED lighting in there. Just clean it up a little bit.
And did you mention that you were going to do something with one of the pavilions also in the spring?
Pavilion 1 down below, they ripped out that old, we ripped out that old metal one that was there. And
Yeah.
we're gonna do some work on the wood one down lower. See about replacing the roof if it needs it. And we have a couple retaining walls to put up and some fencing.
Just so you know, I have some excess material, Dan, that we can donate. So just contact me because instead of putting it out to bid, I probably can get a contractor to donate the work also. So.
Oh, beautiful. That'd be fantastic. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
DNS, as you know, that is always very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
No problem.
Hey, any other questions for Dan W? Okay, thank you very much, Danny.
You're welcome.
Item 4 is new business. Does anybody have any new business? Hey, item 5 is next regular meeting date. Remember, 2021, we're keeping the same schedule. We will immediately follow Stratford High as long as that subcommittee needs to keep going, which is going to be for the next several months at least. So our next meeting is Monday, January 4th, 2021, immediately following Stratford High. And if we can all jump on if possible, like we've been doing, it keeps the meetings flowing much smoother. Item 6 is adjournment. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. We're adjourned at 6:46. As always, thank you very much, everybody, and happy holidays to everybody.